For weeks, the forest had been strangely quiet. After days of heavy rain, the undergrowth had turned lush again, and the muddy trails were thick with the scent of fresh earth. But something wasn't right. Farmers from nearby villages were getting desperate. Every night, wild boars were tearing through their fields, smashing fences, digging up crops, even sneaking into barns and killing livestock. The damage was piling up fast, and word was spreading. This wasn't a handful of boars. This was a massive herd. Bigger, bolder, more aggressive than anything we had seen in a long time. We couldn't wait any longer. At sunrise, we loaded up the trucks and set off. Rifles cleaned and ready, our gear packed, and the dogs itching to run. This time, we weren't just hunting for sport. We were responding to a real threat. These animals had become more than a nuisance. They were a danger to the local way of life. Our destination was a thick pine forest bordering an abandoned orchard. We had scouted it the day before and found deep tracks, overturned soil, broken branches, clear signs of a large group nesting nearby. As soon as we arrived, we released the dogs, and the chase was on. Within minutes, barking erupted through the woods. The first contact. I moved quickly through the trees, rifle at the ready. Suddenly, a dark shape burst from the brush on my right. A large male, tusks glinting, charging at full speed. I didn't have time to think. I dropped to one knee, steadied my aim, and fired. The first shot clipped its shoulder. It staggered, but kept running. I fired again, this time hitting square in the chest. The boar crashed into the dirt, kicking once, then going still. Not even 5 minutes later, more gunshots echoed from Edric's side. He had brought down 2 medium-sized boars that had tried to double back. We regrouped quickly, checked our gear, and pressed deeper into the forest. The deeper we went, the thicker the signs became. Broken saplings, deep hoof prints, muddy wallows still dripping wet. They were here, close. Suddenly, the dogs went wild up ahead. We sprinted toward the sound, and what we saw made us stop in our tracks. A massive herd, at least 30 wild boars, erupted from a thicket like a black wave, thundering across the clearing. It was chaos. We fired in bursts, doing our best to keep control. Boars dropped left and right, some tumbling mid-run, others collapsing after a few steps, but many kept going, vanishing into the thick woods. By the time the dust settled, we had 6 down, 6 big, heavy beasts, and yet we knew that was only a fraction of what had fled. There was no time to waste. We tracked them deeper into the forest, moving through thorny brush and uneven slopes. Every few minutes, another boar would appear. Some tried to charge us head-on, huge, fearless males with eyes burning red. Others tried to slip past silently, but we were ready for both. I took down another 2 in quick succession. One had been hiding beneath a low tree branch, panting heavily, clearly wounded. The other tried to ambush from the right but underestimated the dogs. They flushed it out, and I ended it with a clean shoulder shot as it bolted. By late afternoon, our tally was climbing. The forest floor was a mess of hoof prints, broken branches, and bullet casings. We had to pause, not just to rest, but to count and regroup. The dogs were still pacing, their noses twitching. They weren't done, and neither were we. We moved toward the ridge where an old game trail ran parallel to the river. From there, we could see tracks leading to a narrow gorge. It was a perfect natural trap. If any boars were still nearby, they'd have to pass through there. We split up. Edric took the left ridge, I took the right, and the others circled around. We waited in silence. Then came the low rumble. Hooves, many of them. The herd was returning, unaware they were being boxed in. I raised my rifle, breath held, eyes locked. As soon as the first one appeared, massive, muddy, scarred, I pulled the trigger. The shot echoed across the canyon. One by one, they fell. It wasn't just about the hunt anymore. It was about stopping them from reaching the village below. As the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the sky in gold and crimson, we made our way down. Tired, dirty, soaked in sweat, but satisfied. In total, we had brought down over 15 wild boars that day. A hard-earned victory, but the job wasn't finished. These creatures would come back. They always did. So if you're still watching, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, and let us know where we should go next. Because as long as wild boars are out there, we'll be out here too, protecting the land, one hunt at a time.
Çok güzel.
Ha, çıktı. Düştü.
The next morning, we didn't even get the chance to rest properly. A call came in from another nearby village. A group of wild boars had invaded a vineyard at dawn, tearing up rows of grapevines and causing serious damage. The farmer said it was unlike anything he'd seen before. Dozens of them. Angry, aggressive. That was all we needed to hear. With barely any sleep, we packed up and headed out again. This time with a slightly larger team. We brought extra ammo, more dogs, and even a drone to scout the terrain from above. As we reached the area, the devastation was clear. Deep trenches dug through the soil, vines broken and shredded, hoof prints everywhere. We couldn't waste any time. While the dogs started sniffing around, we launched the drone for an aerial sweep. Almost immediately, we spotted movement near the far end of the property. A large cluster of boars was moving along a ridge behind the vineyard. They hadn't gone far. We split up and moved quickly to intercept. The terrain was tricky. Steep slopes, thorn bushes, rocky ground. But we pushed forward. Suddenly, gunshots rang out from Marco's direction. Over the radio, his voice came through, breathless but excited. 2 down! Big ones! The rest of us picked up speed, rifles ready. The dogs were now barking wildly, locked onto fresh scent. I pushed through a wall of thick brush just in time to see a massive male boar crash out from the tree line, panting and covered in mud. I didn't hesitate, lined up my shot and fired. The impact echoed like thunder, and the beast collapsed mid-stride. Behind it, 3 smaller ones were trying to escape up the ridge. I quickly reloaded, dropped to one knee, and fired 2 more shots. 1 hit, 1 miss. The second shot brought down another target. We regrouped on the ridge, scanning the area. The drone buzzed above, feeding us live video of the rest of the herd moving deeper into the forest. We didn't slow down. The chase continued. Over the next hour, we took down at least 5 more, some after intense sprints through the underbrush, others after careful, patient stalking. One moment stood out. We were approaching a narrow valley, hemmed in by boulders, when one of the dogs suddenly stopped and growled low. We froze. Then we saw a huge lone boar, easily the biggest of the day, standing perfectly still in the clearing ahead. It had clearly been watching us. It wasn't running, it was waiting. For a second, no one moved. Then it charged. The ground shook with each step. I raised my rifle, heart pounding, but it was fast. Faster than I expected. My first shot missed completely. The second grazed its side. It kept coming. Just as I prepared for a third, Edric fired from the side, hitting it just behind the shoulder. It stumbled, faltered, and dropped to the ground with a heavy thud just a few meters in front of us. We stood there in silence, catching our breath. That one could have seriously hurt someone. The power, the speed, it was no ordinary wild boar. By the end of the day, we had taken down over 20 wild boars in total. Each one a threat that would no longer destroy farmland or endanger the locals. And yet, we knew this was only a small part of the problem. These animals breed fast, move silently, and adapt quickly. But we'll adapt faster. Hunt smarter, stay ahead. And if you enjoyed this hunt, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop a comment about where we should head next. Every boar we take down is a small victory. Not just for us, but for every farmer and village that can sleep a little easier tonight. See you in the next one. The hunt never stops.
Tamam. Ha, 4 tane. Biri düştü. 3 tane.
Vuruldu. Domuz vuruldu.
Yok vurulmadı.
Ben ne diyordum? Vuruldu. Kanal olsun lan. Dayı oğlu. Ulan dayı oğlu. Ben var ya bilemiyorum.
Aşağıdakilere bak Ahmet. Mustafa yürüdü mü?
Bir dakika ötekilerine bak.
Köpek var.
Biz bunu istiyoruz. Adam görüntüleceksin istiyor.
Bir saniye. Bir açığa çıksın da. Çıktı. Ha, gördüm. Tamam. Öndekilere.
Bir ayrıldı. Almadı. Olmadı yaman. Vuruldu ama.
Tamam.
Öteki de kalacak. Öteki de kalacak.
Sürüye. Sürün içine.
Tamam.
Açıklat. Yakın değil. Açıkla.
Bekle açık.
Tamam.
Atlayıcı atacağım.
Atabilirsiniz.
Vurdum.